I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power, peace and power to the people of the struggle. How are you? How you do? How you do? Yeah, just pop up on you. Oh, look at Tisha. How you doing? What's going on? Trav, salute. T, what up, T? CC, salute, salute. Brown girl, salute. V Jones, grump, grump. What up, what up? Almighty. Peace, peace. Ooh, y'all in the spot. Ooh, London in the spot. Erie. Salute, salute. Ah, ah. Boy, y'all in the spotty spot. The lovely lady done switched up her tag. Peace and power. Brown girl, what up? What up, brown girl? I see you. What's good with you? What's good with you? What's good with you? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? First of all, one of our most generous supporters, one of the comrades who has daily communications with me, really respect this brother. His mom's transition early yesterday, so I want everybody to send their strength, uh, their condolences to William Atkins, Big Will Atkins out of Brownsville. You know, good, solid dude. You know, solid dude. You know, she was battling a long-term illness for a long time, and which is which was the double blow, is that just a few months ago, her mother, his grandmother, had transitioned. So, you know, they lost two, you know, matriarchs, two of the solid foundations of their family, of their lineage. And we want to make sure that we send all healing strength to that family, to the Atkins family, out of Prospect Plaza, Brownsville, Brooklyn. We're going to salute him. We're going to give him strength. We're going to envelope the family, you know, with all of our hugs, you know, and well wishes, deep condolences, and we're going to help them get it through. So definitely, Will, when you come around, you know that, you know, the tribe is rocking with you. We here for you. You dig? You need us, you let us know. Also, Big V, our Big V, our Queen comrade, out in the Bay Area. We're waiting for her to join us. Damn, man. Excuse me, yo. Doggy tried to creep on up in here. Um, Guess he trying. That's why I'm trying to get this in, get it in early, because we have to have a big, solid build later on this evening. You know, we want to make sure we get an outspoken in. You dig? So, hey, Nadeem, what's up? Gravedigger, what's good? Everything. Miss Matthews. Oh no, they can start at any time, Miss Matthews, anytime. Listen, we are the owners of time and space. At any time. At any time we could pop off, because at any time they could shut us down. So I'm making sure that we get in as much as we can. You dig? You checked in on her? Thank you, brown girl. Yeah, huh? No, man. We got to keep them because they so far from us. Slaughter, salute, salute. You know, yeah, they all the way in the Bay Area, and it's really just them two. So make sure we always reach out to our queen comrade Veronica out there in the Bay. You dig? We make sure we check in on her. No, make sure that they are definitely in our hearts and our thoughts on a regular basis. You dig? All right, Nadim, that's what I'm talking about. So again, y'all make sure y'all hit Doggy up and tell me I want a live outspoken tonight. You dig? We have a lot that we can discuss. You know, DC, what up? What up? Kenny Mac, what's good? And condolences to the family out there, Kenny Mac and DC. Um, I think we just lost another 16-year-old rapper from out of the DC area that got I believe he was murdered at his own video shoot. You dig? Something real bad, like that. But again, these are the symptoms of the conditions that we living in. So we gotta just welcome the struggle, keep pushing strong. You know, we have to. We're in a space, and when you have people in your tribe, such as Brown Girl, who can get you in a good, clear perspective when you really, really need some solid extra therapy, right? When you have other people in the tribe like T, right? We got our Queen Comrade T Green, who's very compassionate. We have a tribe. So when we going through all this, right? There's people you can always hit real quick in the DM. The man, yo, listen, I need a little strength. Can you give me something good? Can you talk to me real quick? Send me a quick message. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do it. We have to just rely on each other. You dig? Invisible, what up? What up, peace? We got you. Just have to utilize that tribe. Boogeyman, what up? What up? Use that. Use the resources in your tribe. That is how you are able. Because again, nobody don't care about us but us. That is going to be something that is so crystal clear to you. The more we engage, the more you're sitting here, the more you see us on different social media platforms, politicking with each other, dialoguing with each other, building with each other, making sure we're strong. You're going to see it. We have to rely on each other, spread the resources around. Right? Spread it around. But make sure it stays right here with us. Because when you go outside, you're going to see the same treatment. It's not from a pure space. It's not about getting you what you need. There's going to be paperwork, and you can't do this, and you're limited here, and you're not able to access that over there. Listen, we are the only ones who can get each other up out of this. So don't just use this as a space to listen and they get empty rhetoric, which we never do, but people sloganize our stuff. I see it, other people pulling from our bills and putting it in their stuff, and no, this is a space where we get tangible results, solution based, definitely 100% care and concern for how we're gonna move. All right. So again, again, let us rely on each other. All right, rely on each other. As always, Jasmine. Damn, I ain't seen you in a minute. What up? As always, Cash App is posted. The email is posted. All social media platforms. I'm public. You know how to reach me. Make sure you know that you're not alone. All right? Oh, Will Stunning Brown, I see you. Peace, Almighty. Peace, Praying. Peace. All right? So I'm telling you, you're not alone. You're not alone. All right? Don't play with shit inside your head. Don't do that. Reach out. Reach out. Don't play with things in your head. Reach out. Should you need just a little boost. Sometimes it's not a lot that you require. Sometimes just that little bit of reassurance, an affirmation. You dig? All right. So let's get this popping. We're not gonna be on here all night because again we're trying to get an outspoken in, and we didn't even get a Thug Love Superman in this week. That's the book I picked up. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, this is Saturday. It's book club. I already had this in hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hold up. Oh, it's book club. Saturday. So, like I said, it was a very tumultuous week. Very tumultuous week. So, gotta do what we gotta do. Okay? Salute. Peace, Master Peace. What's good? So, you ready to get this in. Rebel, salute. Mr. Max, salute, what up? Come on, man. Now, listen, all these people, all these tribe members that ain't been here a minute, and now y'all coming through, don't look. Apex, salute. Don't come through because talking about it's holiday weekend and I got a little few days and I'm going to catch up. No, listen. Cut y'all shit out. Y'all know where we at. Y'all know where we be. Become popping, picking your head in. I'm telling you. I'm not like these other people on social media. I know my tribe. On every platform. I know my tribe. I know who always in effect. I see you, Tottenham, London. UK, big up in here. I know all my names. I know all of y'all. I'm telling you. You know I'm going to tell them. Because they peeking in and shit. Peeking in. And want to work for the man and shit. And we don't see them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Hey, Melody. I'm telling y'all. Cut that shit out. Get here. We need, if you ain't here once a week, twice a week, whenever we on, you ain't on IG, we there every day. You ain't on Facebook. Come on now. Melody, you doing report cards, so I know you get that excuse. I know how that report card shit is. You know I know about that. But all the rest of y'all I'm seeing, Apex, Mr. Mac, come on, man. Brazil, out of New Jerusalem. Where y'all been? Master, Jasmine Monet. Come on, man. Let me find out y'all over there hanging out with the birds. Let me catch y'all. Let me peek in and catch y'all over there with a star and Haas and all that. Let me find out. I'm gonna approach you. Cut it out. Peeking and sliding off somewhere. I know my tribe. I'm telling you, I don't play with this shit. I'm serious with this. Yeah, I'm serious with this. This is a love thing. You don't be playing. Thinking some on social media like this is a joke. Nah. I know tag names, I know all that. I'm not playing. We must grow our tribe. We must remain tight. We must remain tight. I'm telling you. I told y'all before, we at war. This shit is not a game. Every minute of the day they are attacking because they know that if you control space and time, they win the war. And damn it, no, my tribe won't be with me. You had finals and had to graduate? What's your degree in, Jasmine? Let it be known. What's sincere? Salute, no doubt. Salute for the Cash App, sincere. What did you graduate in, Jasmine? What did you graduate with? Nursing. Ooh, Lord, you know that. A lot of them nursing students. Go ahead, girl. Everybody congratulate Jasmine. Give her the salutes, the biggest salutes for finishing nursing school. Come on now. Come on now. She endured that shit, knowing she got to go through this pandemic bullshit. Salute, Jasmine. God damn, girl. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We need that. We need that. Because we get hit. Oh! Can't go to the hospital. We got to go right to the crib, to the underground. So Jasmine can stitch our shit up. That's what I'm talking about, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Love it. Love it. Love it. Be proud of you. No doubt. No doubt. That's what I'm talking about. I told y'all, man. It ain't about the numbers with me, man. It's quality. Quality. I got some shit in my tribe, man. I don't know what the hell be going on in the rest of the spots, but I got some shit. That's right, brown girl. They are dope. And they are dope. They're dope because it doesn't matter how it come. Get that education, especially when you combine it with a trade that's useful to us. Of a mind where it came from. You understand? Now you're in a space where you could take that and then you can branch out and really expand that. It's a beautiful thing. You know, my mom was a nurse for 25 years before she transitioned. I'm telling you, it's nothing like that. Nothing like being a caretaker. Nothing like that. And then got a double duty because you could keep your eyes on the bullshit. Keep us informed on that healthcare system. You dig? Stunning Brown, you got a CDL and your personal chef. See? Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look at all that we got up in here, yo. Look at all that we have up in here. What up, Wavy? Wavy Bird, another one. You playing? Where you been? Where you been? Come on now. Yeah, you laughing and giggling. Well, maybe come to the crib. Get your ass here. You supposed to be in the ranks. Don't be playing. Don't be playing. Tell him we don't need them for shit, y'all. Nothing. That's all I could do is keep proving that shit to y'all. That's all I could do. Keep proving it to you. We don't need them for shit. at all. Got everything we need. It's this up here. Got to be conditioned to remain militant up here. Getting your exercise. That's where I'm at. Anybody in the Midlands up in here? You all the way across the water. We got the tribe, man. We're not even the man. You got people over there. When y'all get together over there too. And let them know y'all part of this tribe. You dig? Come on, man. We good. We gonna be good. I want y'all to start making very clear analytical decisions and in watching what's going on. Don't be shook. Don't be confused by all that bullshit. It's a symptom. You dig what I'm saying? It's like when you fighting and you boxing and they throwing that, they fanning and feigning, throwing them little taps out there. That ain't the one you watching for. You watching when they coming with that right or they trying to double up on that jab. You just watch. Don't fall for the bullshit. All right? Gotta know how to move, and watch. So when y'all watching all this shit and it's emotionally triggering, fall for that bullshit, man. Fuck that shit. We've been going through it. We've been going through it. There's nothing new. All right? News just travels immediately now, but we've been here before. This shit is repeats and it's reruns because they have to do it. They have to stick to their script. We just don't have to follow that shit. We don't have to be in alignment with it. We have to pull ourselves out of it. Stop the reactionary bullshit. Be focused on our goals. Our main goal is organizing, relying on each other, and making sure the resources right here. That's what we gotta do. So let's get busy, goddamn. Let's get busy. Asada. Do y'all like this? Do y'all like this book club? Do you like how it's organized? Do you like how we are paced? Because if not, we can switch up the pace. I can say, here, read this, boom. And in 2 weeks, we're going to discuss it. Is that how y'all want it? Let me know. We can do, if this is paced, right? And if we're getting more out of this than we would doing it the traditional way, let me know. Let me know. But this is how we did it, right? This is how we did it when I needed it done the most. And this is how we built soldiers and built each other up behind enemy lines. We took our time. Everybody was able to comprehend these meds right along with each other. You dig? Right along with each other. And now, like I said, it's permanent. So you could always go back to a previous build. Always go back and come through and come. Man, I tell you, when you finish with these joints, when you finish with these meds, oh, I'm telling you, you're going to be so sharp. You're going to be sharp. And no one, I wouldn't care where they from, what kind of scholarship they have, they will never be able to touch you. I'm telling you, that's how you build soldiers. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Oh, they messed up. Oh, they messed up. Messed up fucking with the kid. They messed up. Telling you. Oh, it's authentic over here. All right. So let's begin. We on chapter 13, y'all, page 195. 195, chapter 13. And all y'all who've been missing class, all y'all who've been missing the chalk, missing the dialogue, y'all better go back and watch previous book clubs and catch up. I'm telling you, you better catch up. By the time we get to the next book, we smoking. We off and running. And I didn't pick it yet. We might go, I might skip. The way things are moving on the outside, I might have to pick up the pace and come with something more extensive. You know what I'm saying? Something more deep. Y'all want some shit like this? Something more deep? Huh? You want something deep? Of course you can make suggestions. Listen, man, this is our space. I don't mean I'm going to be like, yeah, that's it. We'll make suggestions. This is us. Nathan McCall make me want to holler. This man. Come on now. That ain't even a week. That's one book club. All right, we take a vote on that. That ain't that. Man, that's ordinary. How many Nathan McCalls we got in our families? God damn it, I'm Nathan McCall. Shit. Never heard of it, T? Yeah, see? That's why Miss Matthews suggested it. You never heard of it, see? And that's good. That's why I say make suggestions. You dig what I'm saying? Make suggestions because, see, we have various age groups in here. And they haven't seen it, you know? No matter how it may be for others. So there you go. God damn right there. Ooh, that carrot juice there. Make me want to holler. Come on now. I'm trying to cause explosions. Oh, okay. Long as it's not Lane Brown book. No doubt, T. Let's get busy, though. Let's get busy. Voodoo, salute. Man, we coming with some heavy stuff. All right? Chapter 13, page 195. GP, salute. Brown girl, she talking about oh my goodness. A Taste of Power. Knife it up. Yeah. All right. So let's go. I am at school when I hear about it. Electric shocks are zooming down my back the way they do when I'm about to go temporarily insane. On a train headed uptown, I'm ready to riot. I'm having daymares on the subway, imagining myself with a long knife slashing slits in white sheets. Ku Klux Klan blood is spilling. You want to look like a ghost? You want to look like a ghost? My mind keeps chanting. You want to look like a ghost? Well, I'll make you one. Sitting on the subway, bloody fantasies. I look out of my daymare. Nobody is moving. Everybody screams. Everybody has a frozen face. The train is slowing down. Everybody is tensely looking at the door. 125th Street. I am going to a riot. I want to kill someone. Martin Luther King has been murdered. The street wakes me up. There is no blood yet. Everybody is getting into position. The wind is blowing rumors. The people are waiting. The streets are rumbling. The tanks are coming. The natives are restless. The tanks will quiet the natives. The tanks are coming. I feel absurd and impotent. Who am I going to attack? Where is a George Lincoln Rockwell? I'm ready to kill him. He will get a chance to utter exactly 2 syllables before I cut him off. He isn't there. Only the rumors and the rumble of the tanks and the waiting. The store windows are filled with shit. You can't exchange Martin Luther King for shit in the store window. Smashing windows will do me no good. I am beyond that. I want blood. The tanks are waiting to crush the resistance, squelch the disturbance. It crosses my mind. I want to win. I don't want to rebel. I want to win. The revolution will not be televised on the 6 o'clock news. I have to get myself ready. Revolution. The word has me going. I am back on the subway. Nobody is looking at anybody. I think I have my period. Sweat is rolling down my legs. I go home. My mother is glad to see me. She knows that I am half crazy. The television is wet with crocodile tears, rebellion, rebellious children, temper tantrums, rebellion, revolution. I like the word. The Grim Reapers are buzz. Reports about the natives. They are excited. This is the stuff that news is made of. We are looking at each other. Impassioned speeches sizzle on their tongues, causing sour ashes to fall from our mouths. We are just sitting there. I am thinking about revolution, the tonic, abstract revolution. I am tired of watching us lose. They kill our leaders, then they kill us for protesting. Protest, protest, revolution. If it exists, I want to find it. Bulletins, more bulletins. I'm tired of bulletins. I want bullets. While I was going to CCNY after I graduated from Manhattan Community College, I decided to get married. My husband was politically conscious, intelligent, and decent, and our affair was frantic, high pitched, and charged with emotion. Somehow, I believed that our shared commitment to the Black liberation struggle would result in a marriage made in heaven. I spent most of my time at school, meetings, or demonstrations, and whenever I was at home, my head was usually stuck in some book. It was unthinkable to allow more than 5 minutes on mundane things like keeping house or washing dishes. To complicate matters, my husband's ideas about marriage stemmed mostly from his parents' life, where his mother was a homemaker and his father was the breadwinner. Spaghetti was about the only thing I could cook, and he was profoundly shocked to learn I had none of his mother's domestic skills. After a while, it became clear to me that I was about as ready to be married as I was to grow wings and fly. So after a confused and unhappy year, we decided we made much better friends than marriage partners and called it quits. I decided to go to California. It was becoming increasingly clear to me that although it was important for students to participate in the struggle, no revolution had ever been won by students alone. Struggling around school issues had narrowed my perspective and I was getting bogged down. I wanted to expand that struggle to the black community. At the time, California, especially the Bay Area, was where everything was happening. Some of my favorite professors were going out west for the summer and they offered to hook me up with a place to stay. As usual, I was flat broke, but a good friend gave me the money to make the trip with a little spending change thrown in. My friends found a place for me in Berkeley, the most radical, progressive place I had ever been in. Revolutionary posters were plastered all over the walls, along with people's murals. The fronts of banks and other official buildings were bricked up as a result of demonstrations and street fighting that followed the People's Park struggles. Excuse me. Red Stars and Mal's Red Book were sold on street corners, and food cooperatives sold health food at cheap prices. People's collectives were dedicated to surviving, struggling, and teaching. I was impressed with the kinds of informal solutions they had cooked up to deal with the problems they faced. And I enrolled in the practical skills classes they gave, printing and layout, first aid, etc. There were books and pamphlets in San Francisco and Berkeley bookstores I had never seen in New York. And for the first time, I read the theory of urban guerrilla warfare as outlined by Che Guevara, Carlos Marighella, and the Tupamaros. I had been more aware of imperialism in Vietnam or Cambodia and the extent of U.S. imperialism in South and Central America surprised me. The U.S. government had invaded more than 15 countries there, not once or twice, but in some cases more than 10 times, and the guerrilla movements were waging armed struggle in most of them. Reading about guerrilla warfare in South America and Vietnam was one thing, but thinking in terms of guerrilla war inside the U.S. was another. Oh, it's getting ready to get thick now. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Joel, salute, salute. Oh, yes, getting ready to get thick now. Queen V, she's coming along. She's coming along. Oh, yeah. Back then, people used the word revolution just because it sounded hip. Half the time, they were usually talking about what they were really talking about was change or some kind of vague progress. Some meant a separate black nation, and others dealt with black revolution as part of an overall revolution waged by whites, Hispanics, Asians, Native Americans, and blacks. Malcolm said it meant bloodshed and land. To me, the revolutionary struggle of black people had to be against racism, capitalism, imperialism, and sexism, and for real freedom under a socialist government. But the reality of achieving it seemed a long way off. Brooklyn jumps, look. In Berkeley and San Francisco, the revolution didn't seem too far away. A lot of white radicals, hippies, Chicanos, blacks, and Asians were ready to get down. But I hadn't forgotten the hard hats and the rednecks in the Bible Belt and the so-called middle Americans who had elected Nixon. I couldn't imagine, I couldn't imagine the new left talking to those people, much less organizing them and changing their minds. I decided the only way I would come up with some answers was to keep on studying and struggling. I didn't know half of what I was studying. I didn't know how half of what I was studying would fit in, but I figured it would all come in handy someday. I read about guerrilla warfare and clandestine struggle without having the faintest idea that one day I would go underground. It's kind of funny when I think about it because reading all that stuff probably has saved my life a million times. As part of my first aid skills class, I worked as an assistant to a doctor who volunteered once a week at Alcatraz. At the time, Alcatraz had been taken over by Native Americans who were protesting against a long series of broken treaties, genocidal policies, and racist exploitation. Alcatraz symbolized the strength and dignity of Indian people, as well as their resolve to fight to preserve their cultural traditions. I enjoyed everything about going there except the trip. The doctor was a motorcycle fanatic who insisted on zooming across the Golden Gate Bridge on that thing, with me hanging on for dear life. Once on the other side, we would jump into a rickety little boat with water in the bottom and limp across the bay to the island. By the time we got there, I felt as if I had done a day's work. The first thing that hit me was the spirit of the people. I felt the tremendous pride, tremendous determination, and tremendous calm from the time I landed on the island until the time I left. They were Native Americans from all over North America, including Canada, from different tribes and backgrounds. They were young and old. Little babies wiggled in their mother's arms, and one old man who had spent many years in Alcatraz prison said that when he arrived on the island, he had taken a sledgehammer and reduced the cell he had once been locked in to rubble. The prison, one of the most infamous and sadistic ever to exist, loomed in the background. There were many different Indian nations, each with its own rich culture, religious traditions, history, and folklore. Everybody was into learning and teaching each other their own history and culture. It was a surprise to find out how many Native Americans who had been raised in cities and knew nothing about who they were. Get that. In that respect, they were very similar to black people. Most of them were from the West Coast. And so I told them about the Indian Museum and the Museum of Natural History in New York. Suddenly, I stopped short. I wondered how I would feel going into some museum and seeing the houses and stolen artifacts of my people stuck away in some exhibition hall. As I spoke, I realized that most of the history I had been taught about the Indians was probably lies invented by the white man. All right. But we got people talking about donate to a museum. Donate to them so they could build a museum. All right? Truth over emotion. Salute, salute, salute. It wasn't until later, for instance, that I learned that scalping was an old European custom. In the 1700s, the state of Massachusetts was paying the equivalent of $60 for a scalp, and Pennsylvania paid $134. It wasn't until more than 100 years later, in response to the massive genocide at the hands of the whites, that the Indians themselves started scalping. None of the Little Museum exhibits featuring teepees and feather headdresses had ever mentioned how men, women, and children were mowed down at Wounded Knee, or how the U.S. Army had purposely given Indians smallpox infected blankets. As I listened to those sisters and brothers at Alcatraz, I realized that the true history of any oppressed people is impossible to find in history books. I will always be grateful for having had the opportunity to visit Alcatraz. I will never forget the quiet confidence of the Indians as they went about their lives calmly, even though they were under the constant threat of invasion by the FBI and the U.S. military. They didn't fit into any of my preconceived notions or the stereotyped images shown on TV and in the movies. They were really open with me, and after a while, we talked about the struggle in general. They had many of the same problems we had: education, organizing the people to struggle, and raising consciousness. They damn sure had the same enemy, and they were doing as bad as we were, if not worse. They told me to check out Akawasani when I returned to New York. It was a territory they had liberated on the border between New York and Canada. I told them if they ever came to New York, they should visit me and check out Harlem. Sure, when are you going to liberate it? They asked. You see? You see how I keep telling you everybody's waiting for us to liberate something? And to piggyback off of the struggles that they have and how it's not even similar, how it's exact to the issues that we have. When I was getting my certificate, my certification in domestic violence, um, there was quite a few sisters who are original to this land, right? Indigenous right here, right? And they were explaining how domestic violence is rampant, so rampant among that community, among those people. One of which, because alcoholism is so high with the indigenous people. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, when Hollywood, right, portrays them, and you can get an idea if you're looking through a conscious lens of what was taken or attempted to be taken from them, right? Especially how they were living, the teepees, right? The wigwams. You see all these little symbols that they do in Hollywood. And when you watch those movies, man, if you watch them from a conscious, I never understood why my father would hours on end watch old movies. He would just continue. I'm like, why is he watching this shit? I'm young. I didn't get it, And he would just sit for hours. There's so many jewels in them Turner movies. There's so many jewels in them old movies on how horrific these people are. And it came to what they want to call colonizing this country, right? Taking, right, invading this country here. Um, but when you see them wiped out, their languages, their customs, all like just completely wiped out, you understand the frustration when it comes to them dealing with each other as men, as a couple, men and women, as family. I mean, really, really, really took their land. And just imagine, it's one thing, right, for us to be indigenous here, knowing that, we travel back and forth from here to the continent and back, been doing it. That's the other book. They came before Columbus. We've been here, been here, been here. But when you start to separate people and you give people an idea that the Native Americans are so distant, and you throw that in through Hollywood, and they never put a true timeline on how chattel slavery existed within the same time that they were annihilating these people, and how at some points they even, because they was annihilating those people, used those people against us or against those who was coming over from the continent, and vice versa. Utilize us against them as well. Same shit. How they pit one against each other. Same thing. But the domestic violence in that community is crazy. So I was meeting sisters from South Dakota, North Dakota. Um, it just opened my eyes to a lot building with them over the length of time. And once I got my certification in domestic violence, right? And if you want to check my certification, there's no other more recognized program than Duluth. The Duluth program, when it comes to domestic violence, is just tops. It's just what it is. You may have others, but Duluth is recognized because of how extensive the study has been and how long they've been at it, addressing it and transforming and fixing it, because that particular space, the rates were so high, you know? But when you get to speaking to people from different backgrounds, if they're woke and conscious, you will find out that you have, excuse me, more similarities than differences. So you just have to listen, observe, pick up what you could pick up, and exchange what you can exchange, right? That's the process of a liberator, the educational process, the giving, the taking, the learning, the being taught. So, when she's speaking on this, for her to go over there and learn firsthand, nothing like it. Nothing like it whatsoever. You know? Yeah, nothing like it. So, let's continue. There were a million groups in the Bay Area I wanted to check out. There was so much activity, I would have had to spend 28 hours a day just to keep up with it all. Someone I was studying with arranged for me to hook up with the Brown Berets, a Chicano group that had been started recently in California and Texas. It was a brief meeting since the brother with whom I had the appointment had to be on the move. He ran down to me some of the conditions they were dealing with and some of the work they were doing. I had always thought of the Chicano movement as a rural rather than an urban one. Most of the information we had received was about the Chicano farm workers' struggle and people like Cesar Chavez fighting to organize them and abolish the unbearable living conditions and slave wages they were forced to work for. I was not aware that Chicanos in the city were fighting against unemployment, police brutality, and inferior schools, just like black people. In the same way that the Black Panther Party was trying to organize and politicize street gangs in Chicago, the Brown Berets wanted to politicize Chicano street gangs in Los Angeles. The brother also told me that they had been doing a lot of work with Los Siete de las Razas, 7 Chicano brothers who had been accused of killing a San Francisco policeman. They were later acquitted. I wanted to rap some more about this case because I was seeing the same pattern everywhere. Sisters and brothers being locked up all over the country, accused of killing pigs or conspiring to. The brother had to run though. We promised that we would hook up again, but it never happened, which is why I continuously tell you, when you hear, when you in this chat, come in the book club, exchange information, emails. You understand? Things like that. Don't worry about infiltration. All we're doing is studying. All we're doing is sparking. We have to engage with some of the more serious individuals that we are amongst, because at any time this shit could be gone. So we have to do that. We have to do, which is why I'm so serious about responding to emails, DMs, inboxes, and which is why I can't stand trolls or people who have some type of delusion about who I am and what I represent, where I'm going, the goals and the mission at hand. Very hands-on. Don't play with this shit. I just don't. All right? Build your tribe. You're going to need it. You have to. Right? We in the age of technology. We're not suffering from the things they suffering from. Curtis Harris, salute, Kurt, what up? You dig? Angel, peace. Next, I wanted to check out the Red Guard, a group of young revolutionary brothers and sisters who are struggling in Chinatown, San Francisco. I was especially anxious to meet up with them because it was so hard to get information about them back east. The West Coast has the largest Asian population in the country, and I really wanted to get a good idea about what was going on in the Asian communities. A lot of people think Asians do not experience racism, that they are professionals and business owners, unaware that many are poor and oppressed. Finding the Red Guard was not at all easy. Half the people I ran into had never heard of them, and the other half only had a minimal knowledge of who they were and what they were all about. Someone gave me an address, and since I didn't have the faintest idea where it was, I got a brother to drive me over to Chinatown to look for their headquarters. We ended getting lost and never did find the address. Instead, we ended up eating at a Chinese restaurant and getting into a big debate. He couldn't understand why a black woman wanted to hook up with Chinese revolutionaries in the first place. Ain't nobody gonna free black folks but black folks. Those Chinese don't give a damn about you and me. All they care about is their own people and what's going on in China. I told him that I thought there were a whole lot of us in the same predicament, and that the only way we were going to get out of it was to come together and break the chains. The brother looked at me as if I was spouting empty rhetoric. Some of the laws of revolution are so simple they seem impossible. People think that in order for something to work, it has to be complicated. But a lot of times the opposite is true. We usually reach success by putting the simple truths that we know into practice. The basis of any struggle is people coming together to fight against the common enemy. All right, what I keep telling y'all. Manifest. That's it. Think, process, theory, come back. Same thing. Think, process, theory, practice, come back. Very simple. Very simple. All right? That's why I tell you, all that bullshit y'all seeing on social media, all these dudes with these names and titles and funny ass hats and slogans and donate here to do this and do that, get that shit out of here. Ask them what's their day job. What service are they providing? Damn, all they million subscribers and this, and get that bullshit out of here. What the fuck do you do on a daily basis? Who sees you? Who is witness in the community to what you are doing? Shit is simple. But the revolutionary process is so scientific that it makes, right, complexities so minute once you break it down. Just have to remain militant and strong. The belief in self, that awareness is keen. But it becomes complicated when you put something outside of you and give that power and authority. That's when it seems impossible. Not here. I break that shit down. Very simple. Simple. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. People go all the way around with all different ideas on how you stop bullying. Oh, we must get them together and mediate the situation. All the parents must be involved. Oh, no, we have to address the more troublesome individual. We have to do this. We have to do that. Man, bust him in his motherfucking mouth. Simple. It's it. Put blood in his mouth. That's how I always handle bullies. I'm telling you. Get back to the basics. Us taking care of us. That's it. When I finally did get around to meeting some brothers from the Red Guard, it was quite by accident and somewhat embarrassing. I was hanging out in the park with a sister and some brothers from the Black Students Union. We were exchanging experiences, talking politics, and smoking reefer. The day was blue and beautiful, and we just sat there lazing in the sun without a care in the world, listening to some rock music that was playing in the background. I had bought a whole pile of leaflets, newspapers from New York to give them out. Everybody was feeling laid back and mellow when all of a sudden a bunch of pigs descended on a group of hippies and proceeded to beat them mercilessly, kicking them and hitting them with clubs. We were all so high, we just sat there watching, like it was a movie or something. By the time we got our voices together to cry out and protest, the pigs were carrying the hippies off. Two Asian brothers came up to us and pointed to the newspapers. You better get rid of those before the pigs see them, one said. More on the way. If you got any grass on you, you better get out of here fast. We were a picture of confusion, stuffing sheets of paper under shirts and into pocketbooks. The Asian brother led our half-day's procession out of the park. You need a lift? Yeah, that's cool. To where? Oh, anywhere from here, one of us answered. We were too high to make any decisions. We piled into a rickety-looking Jeep. They told us they would drive us over to Chateau Street and dropped us off. As we were driving, everybody started to talk about the pigs beating up the hippies. The image was burning in everyone's mind. That was a trip, drawled one of the BSU brothers. Did you see those pigs? I thought they were going to kill those dudes. I was still high, feeling too stunned and eerie to talk. That's why we need a revolution, the sister was saying. They just think they can do anything. They just think they can do anything they want to. What started the shit? Somebody asked the Asian brothers. It was some hassle about some idea or something. They just wanted to hassle somebody. You're lucky they didn't see you first. So I keep telling y'all about that smoking and drinking. We were all silent for a minute, imagining ourselves being beaten and carried off to jail. It's a good thing they didn't see those leaflets, the other Asian brother said. They would have hassled you for sure. The sister, who was obviously angry, got off into political rap. Everybody kind of jumped into the conversation talking about the situation in the black community, the black student struggle, and the overall piggishness of America. Everybody was into the rap, all of us presenting ourselves as political activists and revolutionaries. Are you guys in the movement? One of the Asian brothers asked us. Everybody jumped at the opportunity to say yes, giving credentials and naming organizations. Right on, they said. They told us they were the Red Guard cadre and that they were having some kind of forum on the revolution in China. In my tongue tied, confused state of marijuana intoxication, I tried to communicate to them that I had been trying to get in touch with their organization to check it out. The brother who had been doing most of the talking reached down under the seat and handed me a leaflet which had the date and time of the forum. Make sure you come and check us out, he said. Put this somewhere where you won't lose it, making direct reference to my confused, disjointed state of consciousness. You guys should be really careful with that grass, especially when you've got leaflets or newspapers on you. A lot of good comrades have been busted like that. Yeah, said the other one. You've got to be alert to deal with this situation. You got to be disciplined and ready to deal with the enemy at all times. The Red Guard brothers dropped us off and we thanked them and said goodbyes amid a hail of right-ons and power to the people. Carefully avoiding each other's eyes, we wandered aimlessly, looking for some place where we could plop down and get our heads together. I was feeling guilty and stupid, silly and politically backward. I was embarrassed to be bumbling down the street in the middle of the day, not in full control of my faculties, too high to deal with reality, much less change it. I wondered what the brothers from the Red Guard had thought of us, sitting there in a stupor, having to be virtually led out of the park. It was obvious my stuff was raggedy and that I needed to get my act together. If I wanted to call myself a revolutionary, I was going to have to earn the title. I had heard somebody say that revolutionaries get high on revolution and that it was the best high in the world. I'm going to check out that high, I said aloud. Huh? What did you say? Nothing, I answered. I was just talking out loud. Oh, somebody said. I can dig it. We stopped off at a coffee shop and had some tea. Everybody looked sheepish, lost in their own thoughts. Finally, we waved our goodbyes and made our separate ways. I walked back to where I was staying, wondering what I was going to have to do to become who I needed to become. Revolution is about change, and the first place the change begins is in yourself. All right? All right? See? All right? All right, so you're not ready to change yourself. How the hell you think you can change your community? How the hell you think you can change a nation? Excuse me. How do you think you can change a nation if you're not willing to change yourself? How do you think you can change an enemy that hates you when you can't change yourself? When you're so comfortable in saying, ain't but just a little bit of liquor. Oh, it's just a little bit of ass cheek hanging out. Oh, it's just a little crack, hanging out. Oh, it's just a little bit of trees. Oh, it's just a little bit of overtime for the corporation. I'm just saying. Everything is just so easy and matter of fact. I would love to know the Telling you, remain militant at all times. We don't have the luxury to waste time. Again, I repeat. We don't have the luxury to waste time. Everything has to be a manifestation of your beliefs. If something is not building, it is decaying. If something is not building, it is decaying. If something is decaying, it's not building. All right? That's how serious this shit is. Very serious. So I don't play with it. I laugh, I joke, I giggle, I make light of. And I'm always thinking about liberation. Always. Always. All the time. I don't do anything without that first. Everything with me is an act of liberation. Everything. I even make love in a liberating state of mind. Yeah. You won't get you, and you ain't gonna have no thoughts on none of this shit dealing with me at any time. Getting all this bullshit up out your head all the time. I don't think about nothing else. Straight up. Salute, new God. What's good? You dig? Okay, we on the roll. We on our way up, closing the chapter, so I can see what we gonna do tonight. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. How y'all like book club? Cause I ain't even been I ain't been checking and looking up. I've been seeing no cash apps, no likes, no shares, nothing. I'm trying to do what I can do. All right, all right. That's right, Augusta. Salute. Who else is up in the spotty spot? Who came in late? I don't know. LG been here. Tyler, what up? Salute. Tonya, what up? What up? Jay Early, salute. All right. Who else? Everybody else in here. Boogie Man, what up? Salute. I see y'all. Come on now. Truth hurts. I see you. I see all y'all. What's good? Come on. Let's get this right. You ready, brown girl? Ready, T? Ready, Mark? Come on, let's close this out. We can ready to close this out. And make sure y'all hit Doggy in his DM. Tell him, listen, y'all want a live outspoken tonight. Y'all want to hear some shit. All right? Let's get it right. I'm trying to look. This shit ain't easy. It's hours upon hours. All the way from Maine. Netty Net, huh? I see you, Netty Net. All right? I see you. That's right. Home with James Brown, one of the most revolutionary artists we had. Huh? Father of hip hop. All right? Ready? Let's get it. Ain't the whole book, T. Cut it out, girl. You know I'm talking about the chapter. Girl, cut it out. We still got 4 more chapters to go. The most important organization on my list to check out was the Black Panther Party headquarters in Oakland. I had a whole lot of respect for the party and had been heavily influenced by it, as had almost everyone around my age that I knew. All right? Every time we heard about Huey Newton and Bobby Seale standing up to the power structure, we slapped 5 and said, yeah. As far as I was concerned, the Panthers were bad. The party was more than bad. It was bodacious. The sheer audacity of walking onto the California state floor with rifles, demanding that black people have the right to bear arms and the right to self-defense, made me sit back and take a long look at them. And the more political I became, the more I appreciated them. Panthers didn't try to sound all intellectual, talking about national bourgeoisie. the military-industrial complex, the reactionary ruling class. They simply called a pig a pig. They didn't refer to the repressive domestic army or the state repressive apparatus, right? They called the racist police pigs and racist dogs. One of the most important things the party did was to make it really clear who the enemy was. Not the white people, but the capitalistic, imperialistic oppressors. They took the black liberation struggle out of the national context and put it in an international context. The party supported revolutionary struggles and governments all over the world and insisted the U.S. get out of Africa, out of Asia, out of Latin America, and out of the ghetto too. I had gotten to know some of the Panthers in New York when they spoke at the lectures we invited them to at the Manhattan Community College. I made it my business to drop by some of the New York Black Panther offices and offered to help them with this or that, whatever needed to be done. I was happy to do it. I barely opened my mouth. I just looked, listened, and worked. Some of the comrades would ask why I didn't join. I probably will someday, I always answered. All right, T? All right, T? Keep that in mind. As I told you, T. And then you go through several other books, all right? I probably will someday. So up to this point, almost closing the book, she isn't in it. All right? She isn't in it. Someday. All right? So when people keep throwing it on, they're not reading or they're not understanding what they read. Let me continue. When I heard on the radio that the New York Panthers had been busted, I was furious. The so-called conspiracy charges were so stupid that even a fool could see through them. The police actually had the audacity to charge them with plotting to blow up the flowers in the botanical garden. And the 21 were some of the baddest, most politically educated sisters and brothers in the party. It was an insult. Excuse me. I thought about joining the party right then, but I had some other things I wanted to do, and I needed a low profile in order to do them. All right, T? This is how you start checking people mentality, start checking people's scholarship when they say certain things. All right? As much as I dug the party, I also had some real differences with its style of work. As I opened the front gate of the Oakland headquarters, I felt just as nervous about going inside as I did about the Doberman pinchers running around the yard. A brother opened the door, and I nervously blurted out that I was from New York and had come to check out the party. He acted like he was glad to see me, but brought me into a room to meet some of the other Panthers. A group of sisters and brothers were sitting around the room, laughing and talking. They greeted me casually, passing over a chair for me to sit in. Artie Seal was there, and I had to control myself to keep from gawking at her. I wondered how she felt with her husband in jail, being railroaded and bombed and gagged in court. I recognized the names of others. It was strange to be there in a room with those people. It was like sitting down on the book, on the pages of a history book. They asked me about New York, and I told them what was happening with the black students at Manhattan Community College, CCNY, and the black student movement in general, the anti-war movement, black construction workers, and whatever other work I was involved and at the time, I told him I had done some work for the New York Panthers and ran off a list of the ones I knew. Somebody asked me why I never joined the party. Half stammering, I told him I thought about it but had decided not to. Why? Everybody wanted to know. It was hard for me to say because I felt so much love and respect for the sisters and brothers seated there. But I knew I'd hate myself if I didn't say what was on my mind, that I had been turned off by the way spokesmen for the party talked to people, that their attitude had been arrogant, flippant, and disrespectful. I told them I preferred the polite and respectful manner in which civil rights workers and black Muslims talk to the people rather than the arrogant fuck you style that used to be popular in New York. I said they cursed too much and turned off a lot of people who would otherwise be responsive to what the party was saying. When I had finished, I waited nervously, fully expecting them to jump all over what I had said. To my profound surprise, nobody did. Everybody agreed that if that was, in fact, how party members were relating to the people, they should change at once. One of the sisters pointed out that there was a leadership crisis in the New York chapter caused by the arrest and imprisonment of the Panther 21. It was well known by everybody in the movement that the New York police had kidnapped the most experienced, able, and intelligent leaders of the New York branch and demanded a $100,000 ransom for each one. One of the brothers explained that the Panthers were facing the same problem all over the country because of persecution by the pigs. We spent the rest of the afternoon rapping about the black struggle in New York and in the U.S. in general. I was deep in a discussion about strategy and tactics when Emory Douglas came in. I was as happy as a bee in a pollen factory to meet him. I dug his artwork a lot and had even taped a piece he had written on revolutionary art to my closet door. We hit it off at once, and when everybody finished rapping, he took me up to see how the Black Panther newspaper was put together. I was truly impressed by the Panthers in Oakland. After my first visit, I dropped in at their offices regularly. I visited some of the other branches in the area, talking to the people and asking my usual ton of questions. I spent a couple of nights working at the distribution center for the party paper, which was located in the Fulton district in San Francisco. It was a trip. The papers wouldn't get picked up from the printer until late in the evening, and people would work until the wee hours sorting them out and preparing them for distribution to the Panther offices all around the country. Panthers worked there, but the majority seemed to be sisters and brothers from the neighborhood who had just dropped in to give the Panthers a hand. A lot of young people were there and some elderly sisters and brothers. As we wrapped the papers in bundles, printed addresses, and counted our papers, we sang Panther songs and marching chants. Every now and then, a few stepped outside to sip a little bitter dog. That was supposedly a Panther invention made of red port and lemon juice. It wasn't too bad once I got used to it, but and by the time 1 a.m. came around, I loved it. Working on the paper distribution didn't even seem like work. It was more like a party. Somebody always gave me a lift home, and I would fall into a happy sleep feeling refreshed and renewed. All right? It was splashed across the papers, blaring on the radio, and yet I still couldn't believe it. The face of the serious young man with the gun refused to leave my thoughts. I must have picked up the same newspaper and put it down 100 times. This shit was serious. 17 years old with a rifle under his raincoat. 17 years old and taking freedom into his own hands. 17 years old and defying the whole pig power structure in America. 17 years old and dead. Tears I didn't even know I had poured out. I got on the phone to find somebody who could explain it all. Who was Jonathan Jackson? Who was the young man who came to free a revolutionary black prisoner, holding a district attorney and a pig judge hostage, shouting, "We are the revolutionaries. Free the Soledad brothers by 12:30." Who was he? I had vaguely heard of the Soledad brothers. A brother who knew all about the case broke it down to me. 3 unarmed black prisoners were shot down in the yard by a white guard. A grand jury ruled a justifiable homicide. After the verdict, a white guard was found dead. 3 politically conscious black prisoners were charged with the murder and thrown into solitary. They all faced the death penalty. John Clichette, Fleeta Drumgo, and George Jackson were the brothers charged with the murder. George Jackson, a brilliant revolutionary theorist and writer, was Jonathan Jackson's brother. I couldn't get the whole thing out of my head. Why were grown men and women living while Jonathan Jackson lay dead? What kind of rage, what kind of oppression, and what kind of country shaped that young man? I felt guilt for being alive and well. Where was my gun? And where was my courage? I was dry eyed when I attended the funeral. There were hundreds of people. We could barely get into the church. They set up a loudspeaker outside so that people could hear the sermon. Black Panthers, solemn and determined, marched in military formation. I was so glad they were there. Black people need someone to stand up for us, or we will always be victims. I held my arms real close to me, feeling a bit unraveled. Life for us gets so ugly. If I stay a victim, it will kill me, I thought. It was time for me to get my shit together. I wanted to be one of those people who stood up. These were serious times. Angela Davis was running for her life. They had hooked her up with Jonathan Jackson, charged her with kidnapping and murder at the courthouse, even though she was nowhere on the set. They charged her with murder because they claimed that some of the guns used belonged to her. She was one of the most beautiful women I had ever seen, not physically, but spiritually. I knew who she was because I had been keeping clippings of her in my file. She was the sister who got fired from her job teaching at a California college because she told everybody she was a communist, and if they didn't like it, they could go to hell. But I wasn't surprised. They would charge black people with anything using any flimsy excuse. We were very glad they hadn't caught her. I hoped they never would. The air was charged. Everything was happening so fast, and I wasn't blind anymore. I was seeing things straight, seeing them more clearly than ever before. I had so many things to do. If you are deaf, dumb, and blind to what's happening in the world, You're under no obligation to do anything. But if you know what's happening and you don't do anything but sit on your ass, then you're nothing but a punk. I tried to explain how I felt to some of the people I knew. I wanted to struggle on a full-time basis. They urged me to join the Panther Party. I went over in my mind all the criticisms I had about the party. They had said, "You'll be good for the party, and the party will be good for you. The party is only as strong as its people." It made a lot of sense to me. For the first time in months, I felt calm and sure of what I was going to do. I told them that the first thing I was going to do when I returned to New York was join a party. I thought about it all the way home. Of all of the things I had wanted to be when I was a little girl, a revolutionary certainly wasn't one of them. And now it was the only thing I wanted to do. Everything else was secondary. It occurred to me that even though I wanted to become a revolutionary more than anything else in the world, I still didn't have the slightest idea what I would have to do to become one. And that's the end of the chapter and end of Saturday night book club. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fire. Fire for your ass. All 57 of you. Oh, 57 of you. 56 now. Again, I appreciate you all for coming through. My tribe is the best tribe. My tribe is the best tribe. Our tribe is the best tribe. I love my tribe. So again, share. Make our tribe larger. Make our tribe larger. Share. Get tight. Oh, Ryan. Oh, Ryan. Get our tribe nice and tight. That's what we do. We support each other to the fullest. No fear. You dig? And remember, I love my people. Don't believe in me, believe in my belief in you. Believe in my belief in you. You dig? So I gotta do what I gotta do. Alright, we might do an outspoken tonight. You know, let me get my head right. Let me move around, shimmy and shake a little bit. You do it, you dig? See the sun getting ready to get down. I don't know if y'all heard that, but they watching Stranger Things in there, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. You dig? Yes, she does, Miss Matthews. Yes, she does. All right, so I love my people. Salute, salute. I know what it is. If you're not getting the notifications, again, unsubscribe, resubscribe, hit notifications. All right? You dig what I'm saying? Let's get strong, remain militant. You're not alone. All right? You're not alone. You dig? I got somebody that'll do the enemy real dirty for y'all and in the name of y'all. All right? Yes, LG. Peace, Brown. Peace, peace, peace. Y'all know how we do. Y'all get on Doggy. Tell me y'all want to see outspoken tonight. All right? Peace.